As we all know, digital fundraising is becoming increasingly important for nonprofit organizations. Moreover, social media as part of your digital fundraising strategy is essential for successful nonprofit marketing and fundraising. Utilizing social media for nonprofits is also a cost-effective way to reach a broader audience, connect with potential donors, and increase awareness of your organization's mission. With the right strategy, your social media can be a powerful tool for boosting your nonprofit's fundraising efforts. So in this video, I will guide you through the process of developing a social media strategy tailored specifically to your nonprofit needs, helping you make the most of your social media presence to achieve your fundraising and awareness goals. Now, I also have a free download for you. It's a template that you can use to work through for your own social media strategy for your nonprofit. So let's get to it. The first step in creating a social media strategy is to define your goals. Now, some common goals that nonprofits have is increasing awareness, providing education or advocacy, or maybe attracting new donors or volunteers, or promoting your fundraising campaigns, or sharing news and updates about upcoming events. To define your goals, consider your nonprofit's mission first and the specific objectives you want to achieve through your social media. Understanding your goals will help you create a focused and effective strategy. But here's a quick tip. If your goal is fundraising, consider adding a secondary goal. Now, I personally believe that we need to provide on our social media followers with tons of valuable content that should either educate, inspire, or entertain. I only sprinkle in fundraising requests once I've built an engaged and committed audience. Now, we're going to talk about engagement a little bit later on. The next step is to identify your target audience. Knowing your audience is essential for creating content that resonates with them and achieving your social media goals. So some examples of target audiences include those who are directly affected by your mission, or family and friends of people affected by your mission, or local community members invested in your programs and services. But research their interests, behaviors, demographics, and motivations to identify your target audience. Now, I'm going to link a video that we did on building donor personas because this is so important. I highly encourage every nonprofit to have a bank of personas to work from. Once you understand your target audience, you can choose the right social media platforms to reach them. Now, consider which platforms your target audience is most active on and which align with your brand and goals. I suggest doing a little Google search to see what each of the platforms' demographics currently are at, because they do sometimes change over the years. You will also want to consider how much time is needed for each of the platforms. Platforms like TikTok require you to post several times a day if you want to see any growth, whereas Facebook, you can get away with posting once a day or even a couple of times a week. I'm going to shoot something to you straight, and that is that donors are going to judge you based on your social media presence, especially younger donors. I've actually suggested to some nonprofits to give up a couple of their social media platforms because they didn't have the time or resources to do them well. So here's just a quick rundown of some of the platforms and what I've been seeing. But Facebook is still in play for many nonprofits. A lot more nonprofits these days are boosting their high-performing posts, though, to help them with that growth. And Facebook still has some great fundraising features. I usually recommend Twitter if you have key staff members so they can have conversations and provide thought leadership with different industry professionals. It's pretty fast-paced, so you'll still want to post a couple of times a day. Instagram is one of my favorite platforms for nonprofits, but it does require good use of graphics and video. Stories are excellent for linking to donation pages, but again, Instagram these days requires quite a bit of dedication. LinkedIn is hands down my favorite platform for nonprofits, and we've done a number of videos on using LinkedIn for fundraising. It's an excellent tool for doing prospect research and for connecting with potential donors. Nonprofits can use LinkedIn to share thought leadership, blog postings, updates on their programs and initiatives, and so much more. YouTube has been growing in popularity with nonprofits, and they do have some great fundraising tools as well if you qualify for the YouTube nonprofit program. You can share long and short form content. While it might not seem like an obvious choice, TikTok has been growing exponentially with nonprofits, but again, it requires requires some serious resources and dedication. The next step is to develop your content strategy. Your social media content should be aligned with your brand, your goals, and your target audience. Developing a content strategy that includes the types of content you will create, the topics you will cover, and the voice and tone you will use. And consider incorporating a mix of text, images, videos, and interactive content to keep your audience engaged. Now, the link to that handout I mentioned is in the description and can help you walk through some of the questions that you should be asking yourself when developing your strategy. My biggest advice is quality, 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 and get yourself a content calendar. It can help keep you on track and organized, ensuring that you're posting consistently. Whenever I do a social media strategy, I also include a section on engagement. I like to develop an engagement strategy for each client that outlines how they're going to build community. Now, personally, I always respond to DMs and comments. I spend about an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening on social media, and I will like and comment on other posts. I mean, fundraising is about relationships, so our goal should be to build relationships on social media. Plus, social media is supposed to be social, right? Engaging with your audience is essential for building brand awareness and fostering loyalty. To engage with your audience effectively, you should promptly respond to comments and messages, encourage user-generated content, and host contests and share customer or donor success stories. You can also collaborate with influencers and other organizations in your industry to expand your reach. Finally, it's vital to measure the success of your social media strategy and refine it over time. So be sure to track metrics such as engagement rates, click-through rates, follower growth, and use this data to identify what's working and what isn't, and then adjust your strategy accordingly. Digital fundraising and social media for nonprofits are crucial components of a successful nonprofit marketing and fundraising strategy. So creating a strong social media presence is essential to engaging with your audience and expanding your reach and driving those donations to your organization. To achieve these goals, it's important to define your objectives, identify your target audience, select the right social media platforms, develop a content plan and strategy that resonates with your followers, and regularly measure your progress to refine your approach. To make sure nonprofits stand out in a crowded social media space, it's important to prioritize quality over quantity and experiment with different posting frequencies and timings to ensure that your content aligns with your brand and your mission. By doing so, your nonprofit can establish a strong online presence and attract those new donors and build a loyal community of supporters that will champion your cause. With a well-executed social media strategy, your nonprofit can thrive and make a significant impact in the world of digital fundraising and nonprofit fundraising. Now, I know this was a quick one, but hopefully that download will help get you pointed in the right direction. So get out there, get social, and see you next week.